Hey guys, okay, today I have your Mat Pilates for Cyclists Part 2. Okay, Part 1 can be found on my YouTube channel, JessPFit, but this is Part 2. So in this series today, we're going to focus more on postural work, the spiral line, so some twisting through the hips, through the spine, more spinal flexion, and also back extension to combat that rounded spine you have when you cycle. So we're going to get into that a whole lot more. All you need is 2-pound weights, 3-pound weights, somewhere around there. For the postural work we're going to do, we're going to add those in. Now, if you don't have small weights, you can absolutely use up to 5 pounds. It might get a little aggressive at one point, and I don't want you to muscle through the work. I want you to hold good form. So, nothing higher than 5 pounds. If you don't have small weights, grab a hand towel and I will walk you through that as well. That'll add some extra resistance to some of the moves. Okay, let's do it. All right, guys, so you have those small weights. If you don't have small weights, you've got that towel handy. Okay, that's going to be for later when we hit some postural work. So just set those down on the side right now. And we are going to get started with 2 roll downs. So nice simple warm up. I like to start with roll downs for most of my Mat Pilates workouts, just because it really works that deep flexion through the spine and starts to warm up that spine for work. And you can also kind of start to sink your breath. Okay, so bring those feet just underneath your hips. We're going to take a nice big inhale as we bring those arms up and overhead, reaching the crown of your head all the way from the soles of the feet. So feel like you're growing taller. Exhale as you nod that chin to chest and round yourself all the way down towards the floor. Okay, finding that nice deep stretch, holding it there at your full range of motion. Okay, holding it right there. Find that nice stretch. Now, if your knees are bent, with each exhale, you're going to start to get those legs a little bit straighter. Okay, you want those knees to be soft, not locked out, but we're trying to get them as straight as possible. Hands towards the floor as far as you can go. Now, we're going to pedal out those legs a little bit. So you're softly going to bend that right knee, keeping my heel connected to the floor. It's just a little micro bend through that knee joint. Good. Go ahead and extend, micro bend that left knee. Full foot makes contact with the floor. I'm not picking up my heel or my toes. My entire foot is on the ground. Good. Alternating that little micro bend, okay, right to left. You'll feel that straight leg get a deeper stretch with each little bend. You're here for 4. Last 3. Good. Last 2. The next time both those knees are straight, you're going to inhale with soft knees. Inhale, 1 vertebrae at a time. You're going to stack the spine as you roll all the way back to start. Inhale, bring those arms back and up and overhead. 1 last time. You're going to exhale, nod that chin to your chest. Start the rounding of the spine from the base of the skull, curling that belly button underneath your lowest rib, coming all the way down towards the floor. Hopefully you get a little deeper this time. I definitely feel that in my body. Before where my fingertips were down, now my full hand is down. So find that deeper stretch in your own body. Good. Now you can pedal out those knees a little bit if that feels good to you. If you want to just keep those legs straight, that's also fine. You do what works best for your body. Okay, everybody's different. Good, you should feel that nice stretch up the back line of the leg. Good, holding it here for 4. Last 3. Good, last 2. On your next inhale with soft knees, you're going to roll 1 vertebrae at a time, stacking the spine like building blocks. Rolling all the way up, pulling that belly button up and in. Inhale those arms up and overhead. And we're all set to get working. Okay, come to the top of your mat or the very end of your mat. We're going to come into walkouts or Pilates push-ups. So we're going to start with that roll down exactly like we started in our warm-up, but we're going to walk it out to a plank and take a push-up. So we're going to bring those arms up and overhead. Exhale, nod that chin to chest, rounding down towards the floor. My feet are in parallel. I'm walking all the way out to a nice long plank. Connect to your plank and then give me that nice push-up. Walk it all the way back up to start. Inhale those arms up and overhead. Exhale, rounding down towards the floor. Walking your plank all the way out. Connect to your plank. Nice big push up. And then walk it all the way back up. We have 8 more to go. We're doing 10 walkouts here. Exhale, bringing it down towards the floor. Working that full body. This is full body integration right here. Whole body is working. Good, it's gonna pick up that heart rate a little bit. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest, rounding it all the way down. Find your plank. Get that push up in. Good, and walk it all the way back up. We've got 6 more. We're getting there. Exhale, nod that chin to chest, rounding it down. Good, find your plank. Roll those shoulder blades down. Big push up. Coming back up, we've got 5 more. Exhale, nod that chin to the chest. The body's gonna be nice and warm after this. Good, hold it there, big push up. Good, we're coming on last 4. Good, walk it out, connect. Good, bring it all the way up. Last 3. Good, connecting to your breath. Be aware of how you're breathing. Last 2. Good, we've got 1 more. We're gonna hold that plank. Exhale, rounding it down. Walk it out to the plank. Get that push up in and hold your plank. So from here, you're gonna push up between those shoulder blades, okay? You wanna lift up out of those shoulders. Belly button is up and in. Those shoulder blades are down and around the ribs. Now from here, you make sure those shoulders, those wrists are just underneath those shoulders, okay? You're gonna push those heels back away from the crown of your head. Try to lengthen out your body as much as possible. We're gonna go into commando, so we're gonna take that right forearm down. Left will follow. Left arm pushes us back up. Now left arm steps down, right follows, right pushes us back up. Right forearm down, left follows, left pushes us up. Good, left down. Good, I missed it. Right picks us up. Good, I forget. Every time I cue this one, because I'm doing it with you, I forget which way I started. Good, so keep alternating that leading arm. That's all you have to worry about. Try to keep that body as stable as possible. Good, holding that handprint underneath the shoulder. You've got 4 more here. Good, last 3. Last 2. And last 1, you're gonna hold that forearm plank. From here, we're gonna roll to our left, swiveling those feet. My forearm is now perpendicular to my body, okay? So I've got the elbow under the shoulder. Right arm is overhead. My right foot is in front of my left. From here, my right arm is gonna sweep under my left waistline. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, sweep, twist through the rib cage and bring it all the way back up. 4 more. Sweep. Good. Exhale, last 3. Get that reach under that waistline. Good. Last 2. Good, 1 more. Good, bring it back to start. Roll back to center. Hold it here for 8. For 7, we're gonna roll to the right. For 6, for 5, for 4, lifting up between those shoulder blades. Last 3, last 2. Roll onto your left forearm, your right forearm, right elbow underneath your right shoulder. Left arm comes up, right up over that shoulder. Nice long line. My left foot is in front of my right. I'm going to take my left hand now and sweep it under bring it back. Think about that rib cage twisting. Good, you want to find that little spiral line. Twist through the ribs. Good, we've got 4 more here. Exhale. Inhale back up. Last 3. Good, last 2. Last 1. Bring it all the way back. Good, we're going to roll back to center. Set those knees down. Woo, nice job. Little plank series to start. So that planking is really good for that whole anterior core. Of course, you're working the whole body, the upper body as well, right? That's pretty intense in the forearms. Good, now we're going to come all the way down into mermaid work. So I'm going to be seated. My right leg is going to cross in front, okay, and my left leg is going to hook in back. So I've got alternating knee bends. Right knee is bent in front of me, so that right foot's hooked right in front, and left foot is hooked behind, okay? Now, for a lot of people, this is a very uncomfortable position. I don't expect it to feel fantastic. It's gonna be a decent stretch for you. But if it feels painful, okay, you wanna find a yoga block, a pillow, a stack of books rubber banded together, and you're gonna set that underneath your right glute, that right booty, okay, that right booty cheek. That's gonna lift you up so that the flexibility requirement isn't so big, okay? Otherwise, if you're fine here and you're finding a good stretch, you stay right here, okay? We're gonna work this left leg, but first we're gonna start with some side bends. So we're gonna bring both arms up and overhead. I want you to grow tall out of center. Feel the crown of the head lengthen up, roll those shoulder blades down. Now my left arm is gonna come down to the floor as my right arm comes overhead, bicep over the ear. And now we're gonna switch. Right arm comes down, I bend that right elbow. Left arm comes up and overhead, bicep over the ear. Good, let's switch. Inhale, up and over. Exhale in that stretch. Good, inhale, up and over, left arm comes over that left ear. Right elbow is bending so I can get nice and deep. Good, 2 more. Up and over, right arm up and over. Big stretch through that right waistline. Lifting up out of that right hip. Good, bringing it back, left arm up and overhead. And bringing it all the way back now, staying right here. We're gonna bring our hands to prayer. We're gonna work this left leg. So this left leg is gonna sweep forward, keeping the knee bent. Okay, the knee is soft. It's not a big bend, it's a little bend. And I'm gonna tap my sitting bone. The center of my left booty is gonna tap the floor. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna sweep that leg back to mermaid. Okay, exhale, sweep it forward. Tap the sitting bone. Okay, that's leveling out the pelvis. Now I'm gonna unlevel the pelvis by picking up my left hip just a bit so that I can sweep that left leg back. Okay, now I don't expect this range of motion to be easy. Okay, this is a big range of motion. There's a lot of swiveling of that femur bone in that hip socket. Okay, now what I want you to think about is how tall, how upright can you be as you make this swivel happen? Okay, how tall? Now, if you need to bring your hands down on the outside of that right knee, that is an option, okay? You can absolutely do it like that, but now as you swivel that leg forward, I want you to still tap the sitting bone. I want you to find the level pelvis, force the level pelvis, okay? Bring it all the way back and set the leg down. Good, pick it up, sweep. Good, wrap and drop. Good, we've got 4 more here. Good, you can see my shift of me leveling out the pelvis. Last 2. Good, keeping that knee soft. Last 1, tap. Good, let's sweep it back and hold it back there now. Staying as upright as possible. We're gonna now just do some straight leg lifts. I want you to think about the ankle and the knee lifting. So it's not gonna be a big range of motion, it's gonna look like this. Little lift, little lower. little lift, little lower. My left knee is probably coming at the most 2 inches off the floor, okay? At the most. You're lifting from the top of that left hip. You should feel it at the top of the left glute, so right back here, okay? And then the top of that hip. Little lift. Try to stay as upright as possible. Again, if you need to bring your hands down on the outside of that right knee, that is an option, okay, for you. That is an option. You're gonna get more range of motion that way. Either way, I want you to challenge your body, okay? Good. Now, if you're on that pillow, you're getting a little assistance, okay? You're getting a little lift, so the flexibility doesn't have to be as great through that inner thigh area. Good. 4 more. Good. Last 3. My left toe is pointed. Last 2. Good. 1 more. On your next one, we're gonna hold it up there, okay? Flex the foot, and now we're gonna press it back, back, back. So that heel is pressing back behind me, okay? I'm definitely tilted to my right, but I'm trying to stay as upright as possible. You should feel this all in and throughout that glute. Definitely through the hip. That range of motion is being stressed for sure. Keep that belly button up and in, and really send that heel back with that flexed foot. You're here for 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. 1 more. And set that leg back down. Okay, stay in Mermaid. Now this should feel really good. We're just gonna stretch our body down over that right leg. Just let your body fold over on that right side. Holding it there. Lengthening out that left waistline and that left hip. For 4. Last 3. Last 2. And come all the way up. Okay, now is where you need those weights. Okay, weights or towel, whatever you have. Okay, now, if you have the weights, they're just gonna be in your hands like so. That's how you're gonna work with them. We're gonna start with offering. Now, in this position, you can either be in a high kneeling position, like so, where your knees are 4 inches apart, or if knees are uncomfortable for you, you can always come down into a crisscross applesauce position or Indian style. Okay, so whatever's most comfortable for you. I'm gonna be on my knees today so I can work on engaging that lower half as well. Okay, so weights are in my hands. I'm gonna turn my hands so palms are facing up. Knees are 4 inches apart, parallel. If you have your towel is between your hands, palms facing up, same thing like so, and I've got tension on my towel. Okay, so that's how we use the towel. Okay, got those weights. We're just gonna start with offering. I want you to think about pulling that belly button up and in. You're gonna inhale as you send those arms forward and up, so they come just off the chest, and then we're gonna fold the elbows back in. We are not gonna let those elbows come behind us. Good, you're gonna inhale, send those arms up and out. Exhale, bring those elbows back to side body. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, bring it back. Good, tighten the core on your inhale as you send those arms out. Exhale, bring them forward. Now you'll notice I am not death gripping my weights. I've got open fingers. My thumb is folded around the center. Good, if you've got that towel, you are gonna be gripping it. You are gonna have tension there. That's gonna help that resistance and that pull between the 2 hands. Now, because I'm in this high kneeling position, I want you to think about that inner thigh pulling together. Okay, so we're magnetizing the inner thighs. Even though they're not touching, I want you to think about squeezing them together and lifting them up and into that pelvic floor and low belly so that we lift that waistline up off the pelvis. We're nice and tall. Okay, my sternum, I'm going to turn to the side again. My sternum is over my pubic bone. That alignment we want to hold to keep the core working and engaged. Okay, so that's really important to hold that alignment. Good, we don't want to lean back at all. We want to stay nice and tall. This is all a postural series, so this is about how good our posture can be. Good, roll those shoulders away from your ears and get those shoulder blades around the ribs. We're going to pull that belly button up and in between our shoulder blades. So really lifting up through that waistline. Good. Keeping it here. You've got 4 more. We're gonna change this up into a tree hugger in 3. Good, last 2. Good, one more. Good, bringing those elbows back. We're gonna bring those arms out to the side now. Elbows are soft, my palms are facing in, so I've got a little bend to my elbow. My arms are slightly in front of my body. They are not back here where my chest opens up. They are slightly in front of me. Now, if you had that towel, you cannot use that towel here, so I want you to just drop that towel and you're gonna just pretend you have the weights in your hands. We're gonna exhale and tighten the core as we bring the hands together. Elbows still stay soft. Inhale, open up those arms. Exhale, hug a tree. Tighten the core. I really want you to tighten that belly button up and in. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, blow all the air out. Tighten the core, belly button up and in. Inhale as you open. Remember, we're not leaning back. Good, exhale. I've got those inner thighs working because I'm thinking about those inner thighs coming closer together without actually moving them. I'm pulling that pelvic floor and that low belly up and in. Good, so I'm not just simply moving my arms in and out. I want you to think of everything that's happening right at the center of your body. That's where it's all initiating from. Good, exhale, tighten the core. Inhale, release. Exhale, tighten. Good, if that booty is gripping, try to relax your booty and think more about the inner thighs pulling up and in. You've got 6 more here. Good. For 5. This is definitely a hard one to talk through. Last 3. Because the breath matters so much here. Good. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. And hold it in that hug position. Okay, we're gonna face the palms down now. I've got the weights in my hands, palms facing down. The bell of my weights are touching, my pointer fingers are touching. From here, we're gonna exhale as we lower the weights to the pelvis. Tighten the core as you bring the arms up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tighten the core, pull that belly button up and in to bring the arms up. Exhale as you lower. The core, think about the belly lifting the arms. I hardly felt my arms on that one. Exhale, bring it down. I want you to barely feel the lift through your shoulder. I want you to feel it all in your right and left waistline. Tighten the belly button up and in and pick those weights up with your transverse abdominal muscles. Good, exhale. I switched your breath on that one. I like my inhale up on this one. You can do either way, but I want you to find the tightest core connection to bring those arms up. Good, still drawing those inner thighs closer to one another. Good, now if you don't have the towel, we're not having the towel here. We're pretending. Good, if you don't have the weights. You can always have 2 water bottles, that's another option. 2 soup cans, 2 wine bottles. Those might be a little long. Good, tighten the core. Good, you're definitely gonna feel the shoulders, but I want you to tighten the core to lift those arms. Good, 4 more. Good, you guys, last 3. Tight core lifts those arms. Last 2. We're not done. Good, last 1. We're gonna hold those arms up at chest height, palms facing down. Now, I'm gonna draw the weights into my chest, and then we're gonna slide them back out, straight arms. Good, try not to lean back, tighten the belly button. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, tighten the belly button, deliver forward. Exhale. Pull those arms in. Inhale forward. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. I'm bringing those arms in. My core is super tight. And then I send those arms out. My sternum is staying directly over my pubic bone. That alignment is the same to keep that core connected. Good, you guys. We're almost there. You've got 4. Good. Last 3. Good. Last 2. 1 more. And bring it all the way down. Woo! Those arms definitely feel it, Okay, weights down on the side. We're gonna come into mermaid work on the other side. So this time your left leg is gonna hook in front and right leg behind. Okay, so remember, if you have that yoga block, stack of books, or pillow, you're gonna place that underneath the left booty, okay? Right under there, right underneath that left sits bone. Okay, that's gonna give you that height and less of a flexibility requirement, okay? From here, those arms are gonna inhale up and overhead. We are sitting up nice and tall. Waistline is picking up off that pelvis. My belly button is pulled up and in. I am super tall. I'm wrapping those shoulders down. We're gonna do those side bends. So we're gonna place the right arm down as the left arm comes up and over that ear. Big stretch out of that left waistline. And then we're gonna switch. Left hand comes down to the ground, bend that left elbow, right arm comes up and overhead. I am still facing forward, okay? We're not twisting. Good, and then inhale back and up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up overhead. Good, big stretch. That should feel good out of that waistline now. Good, lifting that right arm up and overhead. Let that left elbow bend. Good, 2 more. Left arm up and over. Keep those shoulders squared off to the front. Good, keeping that belly button up and in, right arm up and overhead, big stretch. And bringing it back. Okay, we're gonna go for those sweeps with the right leg, okay? So hands come to prayer position, or they can come down around that left knee. Whatever you need, we wanna stay as upright as we can, okay? You wanna just aim to get as upright as possible. We're gonna take that right leg, we're gonna pick up that right hip, sweep that right leg forward, knee is bent, it's soft, my toe is pointed, I touch my right booty down to level out the pelvis, and now I sweep it back by picking up that right hip. Pick up the leg, sweep it forward, tap the sitting bone, so I leveled out the pelvis. Now I unlevel the pelvis and I sweep that right leg back. Good, sweep it forward, tighten up that belly button, tap. It should become a very fluid movement. That's what you're looking for. A very fluid sweep and sit, and then you bring it all the way back. Fluid sweep and sit, and then bring it all the way back. Good, try to stay as tall as possible. As you do this sweep, this is a big requirement of mobility through that hip. Okay, that femur bone is swiveling around in that hip socket, so range of motion is very different for everyone here. It should not feel beautiful. It should feel a little awkward. Good. You got it. Stay right here. I'm going to count you down. We've got 4 more to go. Here we go. This is 4. Sweep it back. Good. Last 3. Good. Last 2. And last 1. Sweep and tap. Good. Bring that leg back. Hold it there. Reset. Okay, we want to stay tall. We're going to go for those lifts. I want you to think about lifting that inner thigh off the floor. Knee and ankle stay together. Lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Good. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale to bring it down. It's a little lift. My leg is coming no more than 2 inches off the floor. If you need to place your hands down on the outside of that left knee, you will get a little deeper range of motion. Okay, it'll also ease up the compression in the low back if you were feeling any of that. Good. Holding it here. Good. We're really challenging that flexibility through that hip. You're here for 4. Good. Last 3. You've got 2. Good. 1 more. Let's go for 1 more. And set it down. Now we're going to pick it up and flex that foot. Lift. Flex the foot. Now we're pressing the leg back. 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 Good. Now my knee, it doesn't touch the ground anymore. I'm keeping that leg lifted. Okay, try to stay tall. I want you to think about sending your heel as far behind you as you can. How far can you send that heel back? Good. It's a press back. You should feel that entire contraction through the glute. Good. Yes, it should be shaky by now. You're here for 4, for 3, last 2, and last one. Let's go for 1 more. And bring it all the way down, guys. Good. Let's take those hands now and walk them to the outside or to just on that diagonal with that left knee. So we're folding down over that left side. You should feel a nice big stretch through that left hip and that left glute, opening up the right waistline a little bit. Good, and holding it there for 4. Last 3. Good, you've got 2. And bringing it all the way back up. All right, we're gonna go on to let's see what I got next. We're gonna go on to a wounded twist. Okay, so we're gonna go into a little twisted movement through a plank. All right, so you're gonna come down into a plank position. All right, so hands and toes. Hands and toes. Now, from here, we're gonna work on that spiral line a little bit more. You're gonna cross your left foot over your right. So, or under, I should say it's going under your right leg. Left foot is going under the right. You are on your toes. Now this is going to let your body swivel. Okay, so your hips are gonna twist to the right. So your left hip bone is shining towards the mat. Hold that position because now we're gonna take our hips and we're gonna swivel them back to neutral for a little pike. And then we're gonna bring them back. It's not big, it's a little lift, just a little. And then bring it back. I want you to feel your low belly pick up the hips or level out those hips. So my left hip bone is shining down. I twist the left hip bone up to level the hips. And then I bring it back. I twist to level the hips. And then I bring it back. All my intentional movement is on those hips and that low belly. Twisting it up and back. Good, little spiral. Think about those inner thighs twisting in opposition of each other. The inner thighs are touching. You've got 3 more. Good, last 2. Good. On your next one, you're gonna hold that twist. Now we're gonna make that twist a little bit bigger. We're gonna spiral those hips back to neutral, shift the shoulders back so the head is between the arms, and then I'm gonna go all the way back to start. Shoulders over wrists, hips are twisted. Untwist the hips, spiral that left sits bone back, reach the ears between the biceps, and then lengthen back out on your inhale. 4 more. Twist, big twist, leveling my hips, and then twist them back to spiral as you come down. Twist and level, last 3. Good, my hips are level at the top, and then I come back down to that twist through the hips. Good, last 2. Good, and last 1. Bring that low belly up and back, and come all the way back to start. Uncross those feet and come down to your knees. So good. All right, we're gonna come into some ab work. So we're gonna lie on our back, okay? And we're gonna work on a single leg stretch to get started. So come all the way into that supine position, down on your back. You're gonna lengthen those legs all the way out. And we're gonna start by finding that neutral spine. So hip bones are shining towards the ceiling. Tailbone is pressing into the floor, and I have a little lift in my low back, just a little, okay? That's my neutral spine, the natural curvature of my spine. From here, I'm gonna bring my right leg into tabletop, and my left leg is gonna join it. So both legs are in tabletop, my knees are 4 inches apart, parallel, my shin is parallel to the floor, okay? That knee is directly over the hip. We wanna find that beautiful 90-90 position. Now, from here, I'm going to come into an ab curl, so I'm going to exhale, nod my chin just a bit, pick those shoulder blades up off the floor, and now we're going to come into a single leg stretch. So my right hands are going to grab onto my right knee, my right and left hand are going to grab onto my right knee as my left leg goes long, and then I'm going to switch. Hands on the left knee, pulse it in for 2, and then switch. Pull it in for 2, and then switch. Pull it in for 2. Hold that belly button up and in. Good, and breathe. Exhale as you pull the knee in. Inhale as you switch. Good, holding those shoulder blades up off the floor. Good, I'm not pressing my low back into the floor on purpose. Okay, it is happening a bit because of my ab curl and that lift, okay, of the shoulder blades. So it should be a heavy press into the floor. Tailbone stays heavy. Good. We're going to transition into a bicycle. In 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Come back to tabletop. Bring those hands behind your head if you want to reset. I'm going to take a moment to reset. Hands behind the head. Find that ab curl. Okay, now, as my left leg goes long, my left ribs twist to my right inner thigh. And then I switch. Right ribs to left inner thigh. And then I switch. Good. Finding the twist through the rib cage, okay? You want to get your ribs up off the floor. It's less about the elbows, it's more about the ribs, okay? So I don't care if your elbows touch your knee. That isn't the goal. The goal is to spiral through that rib basket. Good. Keep it going. You've got 6. Good. For 5. Good. Last 4. Good. For 3. Going nice and slow. Last 2. And last 1. And slowly bring it to center and roll down. Set those feet down. We're going to go wall to wall. So take those feet in opposition of those hands. Reach those fingertips away from those toes. Nice long body, long line. Whew. And just let yourself breathe. For 2. And bring the arms all the way in. Okay, we're going to come into a reverse plank. So staying in that supine position, although we're not all the way down on our back, you're going to bring those hands down behind you. So your hands are going to be under your shoulders. You're going to lengthen those legs out in front of you. And we're going to come into a reverse plank. So we're going to start with just lifting those hips. We're going to exhale to prepare. Inhale, lift those hips, look up at the ceiling. Try to get as high with those hip bones as possible. And then we're going to send it back down to the floor. Okay, as you lift, you want to reach the crown of your head away from your big toes. Find as much length on the front of the body as possible. And then set those hips back down on the floor. We're going to go 4 more times like that. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Make sure you're looking up at the ceiling. Find long length on the front of the body. And bring it back down. We're going to go for 3 more. Inhale, lift and reach. This is a lot of stretch through that shoulder as well. Good. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen, reach the front of the body. Good. On our next one, we're going to be holding it up. So we're going to inhale, lift and reach, hold, hold, hold. Now we're going to alternate leg lifts. My right leg is going to lift and come down. Try to keep the hips high. Left leg, down. Good. Right, down. Left, down. Good. Tighten the belly button for 4. Good. You've got 3. You got this. Good. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Both sides. And set those hips back down, guys. So good. So good. All right. We're going to come into some prone work. Okay. Working on that back extension. And that's going to combat some of that forward flexion you have a lot when you cycle. Okay. So coming all the way down onto your stomach. We're going to get into those glutes as well. All right, so my hands are going to come down. My palms are facing the floor. I've got my left hand on top of my right. And your forehead can just rest on your palms, or if you want to be slightly lifted, but you're going to be looking at the floor. Okay, we're going to relax the head, neck, and shoulders as much as possible. And we're going to keep those legs long to get started. Now, from here, you're going to bring the feet together. So the soles of my feet are touching. That means your knees are going to go nice and wide, and your inner thighs are going to face more of the floor. All right? So I'm in this frog-like position. From here, keeping the soles of your feet together, we're going to press the pubic bone into the floor, and we're going to lift those legs up. It's a little lift. It's not big. And then down. Lift. And then down. So I want you to think about those inner thighs lifting off the floor. Good. It's not a big lift. Okay, you're going to feel a lot of this through the glute. Good. Through the sides of the hip. Good. It's not big at all. Probably getting half an inch off the floor. Good. You got 3. Good. Last 2. On your next one, you're going to hold the legs up there, okay? Hold them there. Now from here, we're going to send those legs out. Try to keep the knees off the floor. Big contraction through the glute. And then bend the knees in. Try to keep the knees off the floor. Extend. Try to keep the knees off the floor. And then bend it back in. Good. Almost there. Extend those legs. Good. Bring it back in. Bending, keeping the knees off. Good. They're just barely hovering the floor. Good. Last 3. Good. Last 2. And last one. And bend it back in and set it down. Whew. Okay, so not a big range of motion there, but definitely intense through the back line of that leg and through that glute. Okay, now we're going to take those arms nice and long as well. Legs are long, arms are long. From here, both legs and arms are going to lift. My hands are about 4 inches apart. My feet are about 4 inches apart. We're going to hold that parallel position with both arms and legs. We're going to inhale as we lift up. Exhale as you lower down. Good. Press the pubic bone, tighten the core, contract the glute, and then lower it down. Good. Tighten the core, lengthen out of the waistline, and then lower back down. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. How far can you reach those fingertips away from the toes? Good. We've got another hold coming up in 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Good. On your next one, you're going to hold legs and arms up there. Now my hands, palms stay facing the floor. I'm going to pull those palms behind my head. Big elbow bend. And then I'm going to dive those arms forward to a point. I'm going to bring them back behind my head. Big bend. I feel my shoulder blades retract. And then I extend those arms out. Good. Keep pressing that pubic bone into the floor and tightening that belly button up and in. Good. You've got 3 more. Good. Last 2. Big pull. Those hands are behind my head. Good. Let's go for 1 more. And bring it all the way down. Whew. Come back. Press yourself up and back into a child's pose. So just reach those sits bones away from those fingertips. Nice big stretch through the hips and through the shoulders in the back. Good, and then coming all the way back up. All right, we're gonna come into that twisted plank on the other side. So hands are gonna come down. You're gonna find that nice long plank position. Now this time, my right foot is gonna cross under my left. Right under left, okay? Now let your hips twist to the left. Your right hip bone shining towards the floor, okay? It's a little twist through that waistline. Now, mini up, mini pike. So we're gonna lift that right sits bone up as we level out the hips just a bit, and then we bring it back down. Right sits bone engages, my inner thighs spiral against each other, they're closed, and then I bring it back to start. Twist to a level pelvis, and then bring it back down. You should feel that right waistline work for you. Good. You're here for 4. Last 3. Good. We're gonna go full range. Last 2. Good. Now on the next one, starting in that twisted position, we're gonna pike those hips up and back with that low belly. My ears reach between my biceps. My hips are completely level. And then I'm gonna come back to that plank with twisted hips, right hip bone facing the floor. Now what I don't want you to do is this, okay? We wanna keep that core engaged. We're lifting up through the shoulders. We are not dipping through the waistline. Piking on that exhale, up and back. Swiveling those hips to a level pelvis, and then bringing it all the way back to that twist. Good, reaching up and back with that core, low belly and in. And then we reach it back to that twist. 4 more. Up and twist. Good. Last 3. Up and twist. Good. 2 more. Twist that low belly up and in. And last one. And bring it all the way back to start. Untwist, knees down. Nice job, you guys. All right. We are gonna come into a roll up with forward flexion to end this before we stretch. Okay, so come down into that supine position one last time. Okay, we're gonna bring those arms up and overhead for nice long length. Lengthening out that anterior core. It should feel really good now. We're gonna roll all the way up. So I want you to start by bringing your hands up and over your chest, okay? My palms are facing in, fingertips are pointed towards the ceiling. From here, we're gonna exhale, nod the chin. We're starting the rounding of the spine. So we wanna start from the base of the skull, rounding and peeling yourself all the way up off the mat, reaching to that full seated position. Arms are up and overhead. And now we're slowly going to start the curl of the tailbone, the low back, the mid back, the upper back. Shoulder blades start to touch the floor, and we come all the way to start. Exhale, nod the chin. Start to peel the spine up off the floor, reaching up onto the tips of our sitting bones, no curve in the low back, and rolling it all the way back to start. Nice and slow. Pulling that belly button up and in. Now, on this next one, we're going to roll all the way up. Okay, but now we're going to come into some forward flexion. So we're going to round down over the legs. Keep those feet in parallel. Okay, and then we're going to start that roll all the way back up. Good, wrapping those shoulders down, arms come up and overhead, tailbone curls under, low back, mid back, upper back, all the way to the floor. Same thing. Exhale, nod the chin, start to peel around the spine, lifting up, rolling and rounding forward over those legs. Nice forward fold here. Good, bringing it all the way back to start. Arms are overhead. Curling that tailbone under you, low back. Good, all the way down, setting that vertebrae down on the mat, nice and slow. Good, we're gonna go one more just like that. Exhale, nod, peel. Coming up, rounding down over those legs. Holding it there. And rounding it, rolling it all the way back up. And coming all the way back down to the floor. Good, and then holding it right there. Whew, let's stay right here while we stretch. Okay, so we're gonna come into a supine leg series. So we're gonna start with that right leg. All right, my feet are parallel, about 4 inches apart. You're gonna draw that right knee into your chest, give it a nice little pull. Okay, nice little pull. Feel that stretch through the glute. Good, I feel it through my inner thighs today, pretty sore. Let's take that right leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, you're gonna grab onto the back of your thigh, back of your knee, shin, wherever you can reach. And now we're gonna flex that right foot, flexing it nice and deep. I want you to reach the center of your heel for the ceiling. Really reach. So force that back line, the back line of that leg to get as straight as possible. We're gonna pull that straight leg towards our chest. Let every exhale take that stretch a little deeper, really stretching. You should start to find a tremble through that leg. That's good. Hold that little tremble. Good. Stay there for 6, for 5, for 4. Keep that tremble going for 3. Last 2. Holding it there. Let's unflex the foot and let's roll out that ankle just a bit. Good. Picking one direction. Roll it that way because we're going to switch. Good. In 3. In 2. Good. Go ahead and switch the direction of your circle, taking it the other way. Getting nice big circles through that ankle. Should feel really good. It feels good on the front side of my shin. Good. For 3, for 2. Good. Bringing that knee, bend that knee back in. Let's take that knee across the body to the left side. Right arm stays on the floor. Okay, now I'm using my left hand to gently press that right knee towards the floor. And now I'm going to lengthen my right arm out off the shoulder, and I'm looking at my right hand. So I'm looking in opposition of that right knee twisting away. Right knee is going towards the left, and my eyes and my right arm are going towards the right. Stay right there, nice spinal twist. Good, you're here for 4, for 3, last 2. Good, rolling all the way back to start. Let's bend the left knee now and take that right ankle over the left thigh. We're going to lace our hands between that left leg. And now I'm going to use my right elbow, okay, to softly open up that right knee. Nice little figure 4 stretch, getting into that right inner thigh and that right glute. Now, I'm going to straighten my left leg up to the ceiling. From here, I'm going to fold that left knee or bend that left knee in. As I bend it, I'm going to press that right ankle gently towards my chest, and I'm going to get a deeper stretch in through that right glute. Holding it here. Good, for 4, last 3, last 2. Good, set that left foot back on the floor, right foot joins it, lengthen those both of those legs all the way back out. Let's switch and bring that left knee into the chest, holding it right there. Good, for 3, for 2. Good, let's take that left leg up towards the ceiling. Now, hands are grabbing on the back of the thigh, the back of the knee, the shin, wherever you can grab. Pull that leg gently towards your chest. Now you're going to flex that left foot. Reach the center of your left heel for the ceiling. It may not feel good, but really reach. We want to get a deep, deep stretch in through those hamstrings in the back of that leg. Good. Really try to extend the back of the knee. And now every exhale, let that leg get a little closer to the chest. Really find that tremble. Once you find that little shake, I want you to hold it right there for 6. Good, for 5. Stretch it a little bit more for 4. For 3. Last 2. Good, releasing that flexed foot, and let's roll out that ankle. Picking one direction, rolling that left ankle in one direction, because we're going to switch in 4. Good, in 3. Last 2. Take that ankle the other way, switching directions. Good, last 3, last 2. Good, folding that knee back in. Let's take that right hand now and send that left knee towards the right side of our body. The left arm is going to come straight off the shoulder out to the side, and I'm looking at my left hand as my left knee stretches away from the left hand. Nice big spinal twist. Finding that spiral line one last time. Good, you're here for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Good, coming all the way back to center. Let's take that right knee now, bend it in. Let's take that left ankle over the right thigh. Lace those hands behind the right thigh, and let's pull that right thigh towards the chest. My left elbow is gently going to press that left knee open. Good, now from here, take that right leg up towards the ceiling. Good, now as you bend the right knee, you're going to allow that right knee to send your left ankle a little closer. You're going to get a little deeper into that left glute. Good, holding it there for 4, for 3, last 2. Good, bring that right foot back to the floor, both feet come to the floor. We're going to come all the way up, and we're going to come into a 4-point kneel, okay? We're going to do a little cat-cow, rolling through that spine a little bit more. So, hands underneath those shoulders, okay? Knees underneath those hips, the back of my toes are down, the front side of my ankle is long. Okay, spread those fingers out nice and wide. We're looking at the floor. Starting with a nice flat back, you're going to exhale, nod the chin to your chest, arc and round that spine like a Halloween cat. And then inhale, Look up and let that tailbone wag up behind you. Exhale, round and arc the spine, finding that lift from the center of the thoracic spine. And then inhale as you look up and let the tailbone come up behind you. Good. Last one. Exhale, round. Lift, lift, lift. And then inhale, release, looking up, letting the tailbone come up. Good. Holding it here now in a nice flat back. Okay, we're not rounding that spine anymore. We're going to take the palms now and we're going to face them. The back side of the palm faces down. Okay, so I shifted my weight back onto my shins a little bit. And now I've turned my palms so that they face up. Okay, we're stretching out through the wrist and that forearm a little bit. Okay, so the back side of your palm is on that mat. Okay, and I've got my elbows softly bent and we're just holding it there. Good, holding it here for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Good, turn those fingertips now to face in. Palms are still on the ground now. And we're going to bend the elbows so that we get those forearms on the floor. Elbows go nice and wide. My face comes close to the mat. Good, sit those hips back. Hold it here for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Good, coming all the way back up. We're going to come onto our feet. Make sure I didn't forget anything. Good, coming up onto our toes. Keep those knees soft. Let your body hang down over those legs. Knees are nice and soft. Okay, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to roll and stack that spine. Rolling all the way up to start. Good. Okay, now one last stretch through those arms. You're going to take those feet just underneath those hips. We're going to inhale those arms up and overhead. My left hand is going to grab onto my right wrist. And I'm going to lift that right arm up and out of that shoulder socket. I'm going to find a little side bend by pulling on that right arm. Trying to pull that right arm up and out of the socket so you get a nice little side bend through the right waistline for 4. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Good, coming all the way back to center. Let's switch it out. Right hand takes left wrist. Pull that left arm up and over the body. Trying to pull that left arm right up out of that shoulder socket. Nice big stretch through the left waistline. Good, for 4. Last 3. Good, last 2. And bring it all the way through center. Exhale, bring those arms down, and you are all set. So that was your Cyclist Mat Pilates Part 2. Okay, more postural work, more of that spiral line and that twisting, really working on the spinal movement, the flexion, the extension. We did a lot of back extension work. Okay, so excellent job today. Let me focus on the core. Lots of abdominal work, so nice job. Hopefully that kind of rounds off. Those 2 cyclist videos are really geared towards the problems that cyclists start to have with cycling continuously or overworking the body in certain muscle groups, helping you to stretch out and work things in opposition a little bit. There'll definitely be more. All of these Pilates videos are good for all different modalities, runners, cyclists, no matter what you do. Mat Pilates Reformer Pilates is a fantastic addition to your regular sport or your regular activity. Okay, just lengthening out the body, targeting the work from the core, good, and just setting you up for more success. Okay, less injuries, more success, more strength. All right, nice job, guys, and I will see you soon.